Hello, and welcome to the Topic 6 review. It's 2 sections. We condensed it for end of the year and sort of getting stuff in. But 6.1 and 6.3, this was the test that you would have taken if you were in class. So some of this I'll have to skip because we didn't do 6.2, but that's okay. Alright, so here we go. What is the shortest side of the triangle? So here we got a triangle, and you can see the angle measures, and if you do 180 degrees, this angle has to be 58. Alright, so make sure you find all the angles, and then you look, here's the angle, so go across from the angle, that'll be your small side. This angle is the medium angle, so this will be your medium side. This is the largest angle, so this will be your largest side. So it says, what is the shortest side of the triangle? Side AB. Alright, that's how it's going to be. What is the largest angle? Now this time use the sides. So largest angle, there's your largest side, so there's your largest angle. They're going to be across from each other. So far, pretty straightforward. Next one. If AB is the same as YZ and BC is the same as YX, we've got the hinge thing here. There's a hinge, and there's a hinge using the two congruent sides as the sides of the hinge there, and we can compare using the Hinge theorem. It says that this side is longer and this side is smaller. That's what that says. So AC is, actually it says the opposite of that. Let me read that again. AC is less, smaller, larger than XZ. So smaller, larger. So that means that this angle will be smaller than that angle. So ABC is going to be less than B. Less than. You can use the Hinge theorem for that. Which of the following is not able to be a side of the triangle with two side lengths? So if you've got sides 12, 20, and x, what are the possible values of x? Now remember, not all three lengths, not every length can be used for x. Because you could get a triangle like this, where you get a little length there and a little length there, and they just won't meet, and you can't make a triangle. So, or sometimes one of them is too big and it won't meet. So there's a range for x, and here's how you find that range for x. You take 20 minus 12, which is 8. You take 12 plus 20, which is 32. So x has to be between 8 and 32. Which one of these is not between 8 and 32? 8. 8's too small. It has to be bigger than 8. 8 is just on the border. Using the figure below, what can you conclude? Well, we got the Hinge theorem going on here. Here's your hinge. 68 is less than 70. So this is your small side and this is your large side. 68 is smaller than 70. So we can decide that AD is larger than DB. We can do C there. AD is larger. This side is larger than this side because 70 is larger than 68. Same idea for number 6. What can we conclude here? We've got a congruent side, a shared side. There's our hinge. You got to have the hinge with congruent parts. And we can look across. 5.5 is larger than 5. So therefore, this is your small side, this is your large side, or angle 2 has got to be smaller than 4. Angle 2 is smaller than 4. That's what we can decide there. Number 7. It says, which is the perpendicular bisection? It's important that you look at the information. It says that GD is congruent to DC. So this piece here is the same as this piece here. And we need, that's all we need, because here it is. This is perpendicular, and it's bisecting this side, it's going through the middle, it's a perpendicular bisector. So BD is the answer for that one. And this chart from the 6.1 day is going to be very helpful. You see a perpendicular bisector will go through a midpoint, and it's perpendicular, makes a right angle. Alright. Next one says, which is the angle bisector? Well, if you read there, it says that GAE, this angle, is the same as CAE, this angle. So these two angles are the same, which means this line here has to be the angle bisector, segment AE. Alright. Number 9, it says if XZ is equal to XY, and the measure of angle 2 is 70, what is the longest side of the triangle? Well, first we got to figure out what these angles have to be. So to figure that out, I'm going to use my calculator. I'm going to do 180 degrees minus 70. You get 110. Now, because this is isosceles, these two angles have to be equal. So I'm going to take my 110 and divide it by 2 to get 55. Okay, now we can make the conclusion. It says, what is the longest side? Well, this is the largest angle, so this is the largest side. YZ is the largest side there. Number 10. So the figure shows two, you know, we're going to skip 10. We didn't get to that one in this chapter. That's fine. Solve for x here. And this is a okay scenario. Actually, yeah, in this scenario, because these are the same, that makes these angles the same. We're going to do that as our equation. And then some simple algebra there. Subtract the x, subtract the 4x's, which gives you 5. 5 minus 4 is 1. Add the 5 over, you get 6. So the answer is D there. 12. Which of the side lengths cannot form a triangle? Remember, the two smallest sides have to add up to be bigger than the largest side. So, is 4 plus 6 bigger than 7? Yes, so that one checks out. Is 2 plus 8 bigger than 9? Yep. Is 3 plus 6 bigger than 10? Nope. Is 2 plus 2 bigger than 3? Yep. C is the one we're looking for. Any two sides has to add up to be bigger than the third side. Alright, on to the back page, which was some show your work sort of questions. Find the value of x in this picture. And you got to read carefully. It says GK is a perpendicular bisector. Alright, so we know that this is perpendicular, and those are the same. Because of that, it means that these pieces are the same. It sets up a congruent triangles here, and we can go ahead and solve for x using 2x plus 4 is equal to x plus 6. So now subtract the x, subtract the 4, we're going to get x equals 2. Next, find the measure of angle J. Well, now that we know that x is 2, you just plug in 3 times 2 is 4, 4 plus 30 is 34. And then it says find the measure of JGK. That's this angle right there, JGK. So if this is 34, this has to be 56, because 34 plus 56 plus 90 is 180. Alright, so just use 180 degrees there. Next, it says given B is 57. We'll go ahead and label that. And C is 51. And AD bisects, so this is being bisected. These two angles are the same. Let's go ahead and figure out what that angle has to be. So using 180 degrees, 57 and 51, 72. So this angle has to be 72 using this triangle right here. which makes these both 36 and 36 because it's bisected. And we have to now figure out the measure of ADB. That's this angle right here. So once again, use 180 degrees, but with this triangle. So 180 minus 36 minus 57. 87. So it has to be 87 degrees there. Alright, 17 we're going to skip. We didn't get to that one. 18 is going to be the last big problem here. And this has to do with, if you look here, we're going from a midpoint to the vertex. Midpoint to vertex, midpoint to vertex. If you look on your sheets, if you go from a midpoint to a vertex, that's called a centroid. And the centroid splits up the pieces, if you remember correctly, into, say, like x and 2x, where this piece is half as big as this piece. So here's what I mean by that. We can fill in some stuff. They told us that AU is 16, which makes this length half of that, which would be 8. This long piece is 12, which makes this half of that. The shorter part is half of the longer part. And then it says that the entire length of CF is 18. So how do you split 18 up? You divide it into 3. It has to be 6 and 12. Because 6 is half of 12, and 12 plus 6 adds up to 18. So let's answer our questions. The length from U to D is 8. The length from C to U is 12. The length from U to F is 6. The length from E to U is 6. The length from A to D, 16 plus 8 is 24. And the length from B to E is 18. Alright, so that's a run through of the types of problems that will be on your test. Next quality quiz. It's only 2 sections. So that'll be your quiz next class. Alright.